team, and then we'll hand it off to the Falcon men's soccer team. But first, we sit down with Coach Laura Brown and a couple of her players. Laura, thank you for joining us. And next to you, Holly Muse, sophomore in the middle, and Julia Town on the end of the set. Great to have you guys with us. Well, Coach, 10 national championships, 10 already in your trophy case. Congratulations on the most recent one that you captured out in Arizona, the NJCAA national title. What is the magic formula for you guys and the continued success of this program?
Well, first of all, thanks for that. I think with just the history of our program, players that I recruit, they know coming in kind of, the history of winning championships, and they come in wanting to do the same thing. But I think the key is recruiting the right players that want to be in that team atmosphere and work towards that same goal.
Well, you and the players recently competed in the Lady Falcon Invitational at your home course, the LPGA International Golf Club here in Daytona Beach. That is your home track. We have some of the highlights from that event that we'll show you here. Kind of walk us through what we're seeing, some of the highlights, and help us get to know some of your players. Obviously, Holly and Julia a part of these highlights, and a pretty good team once again that you have this year.
Yeah, we definitely have a good group of young ladies this year, and I think that's Sadie Chapowski hitting there. But we've got 7 players. We have 3 new freshmen and 4 returners. We've got a real solid group. Holly so far has been our number 1 player, and Julia our number 2. There's Julia there.
You're 3 tournaments in to the fall schedule right so far. Kind of catch us up on some of those results. How have you guys fared so far?
Well, we finished second in our home event. We didn't play quite to our potential, but it's still early in the season. So we went to Furman, which is a top D1 event. We played pretty solid there. We had an unfortunate situation where one of our players had a disqualification, or our scores would have been a bit lower, but we went to Jacksonville's tournament last week. We basically had 3 tournaments in a row, and we definitely have a really good, solid team. Like I said, they're really young because we've got 3 freshmen in the mix right now. So I think we're trying to improve in a few areas, but I think we're on track again to be in contention.
One more tournament this month. That's the Palmetto Intercollegiate. Any kinks that you guys want to work out, improvements that you want to make before you get to the end of this first set of tournaments?
Well, I think, having a 2-week break in between, because like I said, we had 3 back-to-back. I think having the 2 weeks in, they can work on some of the areas that they've had problems on. And since golf is so individual, each player is working on something different. So I think just gearing up to get back into a tournament, but working on some of those things has been good for us. The Kiowa event, we did play in it last year. It's a very challenging course right on the beach. So we definitely going to have to battle some wind and probably need to work on our short game a little bit and make sure that's, in good shape.
Yeah. Break down your team a little bit for us. I know you graduate a few great players every single season, but you always seem to reload. You've got some great players like Julia, for example, always waiting in the wings.
Yeah, like I said, we have 3 new freshmen that have come in this fall, and all 3 of them has immediately jumped in the lineup, so that's good to see because that gives us some foundation, too, for going into next year. Holly is our returning top player from last year, and she's jumped right into the number 1 position. She's a very elite player, top 120 in the world amateur rankings, so that's been really good for us.
Well, Holly, speaking of, you're kind of one of the team leaders now, I'm guessing. What's it been like to be part of this program and sort of now be in that leadership position?
I mean, it's just been a great experience, to be a part of the Daytona State golf team. And, Coach has just helped me so much over the years, develop my game and push me. Also, not on the golf course, but in the classroom also. It was sad to watch, obviously, my other sophomores leave last year. I lost a few good friends, but the freshmen have come in and took those spots on with great admiration. So I owe every credit to them, too.
Now, I know you played in some pretty elite events this past summer.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about those.
So I started off at the British Amateur Ladies Championship. So that is worldwide, and 22 different countries competed in that. And it was a 2-round stroke play. and it was a cut of the top 64, and then it was a 5-round match play. And then, so I actually made it through the 2 rounds of the stroke play. Then I kept qualifying, and then I made it to the quarterfinal, and then I got beaten. But I mean, it was a great experience. I enjoyed it. My playing partner had a lot of experience, but I was happy for it. So it gave me, that striving to do better in my other tournaments after that.
Yeah. What have the experiences been like overall for you here at Daytona State College? I know you've committed to Arizona, and so that's what you're looking at down the road, but this is certainly quite the situation to help you grow as a player, I'm guessing.
I mean, it's been great. It really has. I mean, last year I was just settling in. I started off a little, not as great as I wanted to. And then I made my way up the leaderboard. I moved myself into second position player last year. And then this year I made sure when I came back, I was going to keep the same discipline I had at home, the way I was playing. And then I moved myself into number 1.
Very good, very good. I know the team is lucky to have you. Julia, how about you? You hold on to the number 8 spot right now in the NJCAA golf rankings. Tell me and tell the audience out there a little bit about your golf resume.
I've played a lot of junior golf and AJGA and Florida Junior Tour, and then I played high school golf as well. And I'm just so happy to be a part of this team and hopefully get another national championship this year.
How are you adjusting to college life and college golf and juggling all that you have to juggle with academics and golf all at the same time?
Yes, sir. It's definitely a lot different than high school, but I have a great team that helps with anything and a great coach. So anytime I need any help, I know that I can fall back on them, and it's just been great so far. It's been a good adjustment.
Well, what made you choose Daytona State, and what's it like playing here, with Coach Brown?
Coach Brown is one of the main reasons I chose this school, and the team. I loved the team. It's been great just playing for Coach Brown this year, and it's been a lot of fun.
What are your goals for the rest of the season, your freshman year?
To just keep getting better and help the team out as much as I can and win a national championship.
There you go. There you go. Coach, one more question for you. Tell us about you as a coach, your philosophy. I mean, how you manage the roster. You have a lot of talent out there. You have an excellent team. Time and time again, you're successful. How are you able to manage all of the players and make them come together as a team year in and year out?
Well, I think from day one when they're here in our team meetings, we talk a lot about, team is everything. There's no, everybody's heard, there's no I in team, but we really try to stress that when we're at tournaments. We support each other as a team. Obviously with golf, it's very individual, so when they're on the course, they're thinking about just their game, but off the course, it's really important to be that team, unit.
What do you look for in players when you're out there recruiting? How do you pick the players that you most want to play for you?
The players that have that competitive drive, and you can tell if they're not playing well in a round, but they're just gutting it out. They're grinding. Also players that have really good character that you can tell are good people, because you surround yourself with good people, good things happen. So it's an overall, I want good students, good players, good character, just kind of the whole package.
Yeah, and good camaraderie.
Exactly.
You're looking, I'm guessing, for players that will get along with and support their teammates.
That's really important. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right, well, let's take a look now at how the Lady Falcons golf team has done so far this season. With one tournament left to go, the Daytona State Falcons are currently ranked second in NJCAA rankings, regionally and nationally. They have a relative percentage of 96.47, a comparative score of 22-1, and a scoring average of 76, just over 76. And they have multiple players ranked on their team. So very exciting there. Here is a look at what is next for Daytona State's women's golf team. Take a look at the schedule. October 21st, 22nd, and 23rd, the Lady Falcons golf team will be competing, as we alluded to before, in the 19th annual Palmetto Intercollegiate at the Turtle Point Golf Club. So we wish you guys all the best in that event and into the spring and into next year, and a great season for all of you. Thank you again, Coach Brown, Holly, Julia. Appreciate you being with us, and best of luck the rest of the way this season.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will be joined by Coach Bart Sasnett and two of his players, Craigton Charlton and Dakota Casal from the Daytona State men's soccer team. Stay with us. And welcome back to the Falcon Athletic Network. Once again, I'm your host, Tom James. Joining us now in the studio, men's soccer coach Bart Sasnett and a couple of his star players, Craigton Charlton in the middle, Dakota Casal on the end. Welcome to all of you. Thank you guys for joining us here in the studio. How's the season been going so far, Coach?
It's going good. We we're 10-1-2. Ranked in the top 10. We got a good group of guys. Everybody's working hard. We think we could do a little bit better at times, but we're doing okay.
A typical response from a coach is 10-1-2. We could do a little bit better, right? Well, what are those things that you think could improve on?
Well, our shot ratio in every game, we've outshot every team we've played this year. We got a couple ties, and we dominated both of those games. We tied, and the one game that we lost was against Broward in overtime. We dominated that match in shot ratio. So just putting the ball in the back of the net in the final third and being a little bit more consistent in that final third.
Well, walk us through some highlights that we're going to show here from the game that you played October the 5th. This was against Broward College. You'll see these come up on the screen here. Key game for you guys. I know this was a tough one. Hard fought all the way. Tell us about the competitive nature of this particular matchup against Broward.
Well, Broward's a strong Region 8 opponent. This is Craigton Charlton. Was shot there 1v1. Goalkeeper made a great save. Craigton again on the ball here. Strikes a long-range shot. Just barely misses. Here Miguel De Leon has a shot there.
Carlos Melendez, our goalkeeper, who's leading the league in saves right now. Again, Miguel De Leon, this is his first game back. He's a returning All-American. This is his first time being back this year starting, so we're excited about that.
Yep. Hard-fought game, so close calls right here.
Really close.
But you guys are so skilled. Some of these shots right here. Talk about the skills of your players and what makes you guys so dynamic.
Well, I think a lot of these guys are very technically sound, and I think they're very tactical. They work well together. They fight hard for each other. This has been one of the funnest groups for me in all my years of coaching to actually coach, because sometimes I get to just sit back and enjoy it. Right. I don't got to do a lot of work, and that makes it fun.
Some of the high points, and I guess with 10 wins, you've had a few of those so far this year. What sticks out in particular so far this season?
Just our depth. We got a lot of guys on the bench that can come in and play. There's not a lot of drop off there. And just, in key matchups, we've really stepped up this year.
You're getting into the heart of the season right now, especially homecoming, obviously, is this week. How do you feel like you have been playing lately? Are you where you want to be, or is the intensity there like you like to see it?
I think so. I think we're right where we need to be. I think, like I said earlier, finding a way to put the ball in the back of the net a little bit more consistently. But at the end of the day, we're playing really good soccer. I mean, I'm really pleased with it, and I think that good things are going to come if we just keep working hard.
Mm-hmm. Big winning streak right now. How do you kind of keep that going and keep the energy up?
Well, with everything, you got to keep the guys focused and disciplined, and I think ultimately humble. You have to humble yourself to your opponent, and you have to continue to work hard at practice every day.
All right, well, one of the players next to you, directly to your right, Craigton Charlton. And Craigton, great to have you with us. We saw a lot of you in these highlights here a moment ago. How do you feel, what's it like playing here at Daytona State? Your coach, your teammates, you're having a lot of success right now. Talk about overall, how you're feeling about this team so far this season.
Well, since I've been here, it's been a great, I'm a sophomore. Last year when I just came, the group was real good, but this group we have this year is just out of this world. The players are just great. Dakota, my friend right here, is one of the best players I ever played with. Coming from Jamaica, coming to America, it's been great.
And Dakota, I'll ask you the same question. What's it like playing with this guy right here, Craigton, and the rest of your teammates? Seem like you've got a good thing going right now.
Yeah, they definitely make it easy. I think we have so much talent with this team. I mean, definitely can compete for a national championship with this team, and I believe if we keep working hard like we are, it'll be easy for us. We've had our ups and downs this year, more ups and downs, but putting the ball in the back of the net's our main goal, and I think we're going to keep striving to do that.
Got to still maintain that laser focus. Coach, soccer, obviously a sport that relies, heavily on, your team working well together, trusting each other. How do you foster that type of camaraderie between these guys and all the rest of them?
Well, I think it's just what the guys said. I mean, they've got great team chemistry, and that doesn't come from me. That comes from within. That comes from these guys doing a lot of team bonding and a lot of things off the soccer field together. So I think that strengthened them as a group when they go onto the field to play.
Craigton, back to you real quick. As a second-year player here at Daytona State, obviously now one of the leaders out there. What do you do to kind of help motivate and be a leader and get the most out of your teammates, make them better, as well as being the best that you can be?
Well, from my freshman year, I learned from the past players, so I have to use that as my example. And Coach Bard has been one of my role models, so I have to be a leader, and he's a great leader.
Very good. Mm-hmm. Ed, Dakota, do you feel that same type of situation now that you're into the season and, you've obviously a key player on this team too? Do you feel some pressure to be in a leadership position as well, just like Craigton?
Yeah, definitely, but I think, like we said, we have so much respect for each other. I mean, the guys all trust me. We all trust each other. So whether it's Craigton putting the ball in the back of the net or me putting the ball in the back of the net, we're all happy for each other. We're just going to keep striving to win the games that we have to win.
Well, Coach, I know that you're always out on the recruiting trail, and that's part of the job that never ends, whether the season's going on or not. How is that going? And what do you do to kind of sell Daytona State to potential prospects out there that could come play for the Falcons?
Well, We have an amazing stadium. It's unbelievable. Our president, Dr. Labasso, and our athletic director, Mr. Dunn, they have done an amazing job of putting us in a great place to sell Daytona State with our stadium. And we said when we first started here, our number one priority was Volusia and Flagler County kids, soccer players, and then the state of Florida at large. And then we were going to do our best job of finding the best internationals in the world. So that's our big recruiting push.
Doing a pretty good job of it, I think, so far. And I'm going to ask each of you guys, what made you choose Daytona State? Craigton, I'll start with you.
When Coach Bart first contacted me, I was like, he showed me the stadium and like a couple of D1 schools like University of Cincinnati, a couple of schools were like, hey, if you don't go to a D1 school, I think Coach Bart is the best coach for you right now in a junior college. So that's the reason why I chose Daytona.
I'm glad to have you here. And Dakota, I know that you had plenty of options, I'm sure, out there as well, just like Craigton did. What made you want to become a Falcon?
Bart was definitely one of the coaches I talked to the most when I was getting recruited, and I just loved everything he stood for. The discipline part of it, pushing us to be the best we can all the time. And the stadium just added to it. I mean, it made it a lot easier to make my choice. And I think the group of guys that he showed me when I came for my visit, I mean, they were unbelievable, like Craigton, and it just made it a very easy decision for me.
You must be pretty happy, Coach, with having these two guys to your right on your team and being leaders for you this season.
Absolutely lucky. They're good. They're great players and they're great people and they're good students, and I'm delighted.
Now, everybody knows you guys win a lot, okay? You seem like you have a lot of fun, though, doing it. Pretty loosey-goosey type of team. Is that the personality? What are these guys really like behind the scenes?
Well, they probably don't think I'm very loose. I let them be a little bit looser. I take a lot of the stress and pressure off of them, but they're a hard-working group, and I think there's a good balance between working hard and having fun. And we do have times where we have fun, and they're a great group, and I've really enjoyed being around them. I think you need to laugh a little bit and yell a little bit while you're at it. So,
how do you guys, and Dakota, I'll ask you first, balance the student part with the athletic part of being a full student athlete? A lot of discipline, I'm sure, that goes into that, right?
Definitely. We do have a study hall every day that we are mandatory to go to, and I think that's great. I really enjoy that because it gives me extra time to get my homework done because, we have class and then we have to go to practice. So giving us that little lockdown time to do our homework is definitely very helpful for us.
All right. Well, fantastic. Now let's take a look at the men's soccer statistics so far this season. And this season, the men's soccer team have been holding a solid lead on all of the opponents, a 10-1-2 overall record, 210 shots taken, 38 goals, 34 assists. You got to like that if you're a coach. 66 corner kicks and 5 shutouts. 5 shutouts. So very impressive there. And let's see what's coming up next for the men's soccer team. On October the 10th, the men's soccer team taking on ASA College Miami. That's this week. And then again this weekend, October the 13th, that's Saturday, the Falcons will be playing right here at home against Eastern Florida State. That game will be live broadcasted on this station. I'm excited to be on the call for that one with you guys. So even if you can't make it out in person, be sure to stay tuned, watch us right here, and give the Falcon team all the motivation and support. Well, we want to thank Coach Sasnett. Thank you so much. Craigton Charlton, great to have you with us. Dakota Casal joining us in the studio today. Keep up the good work out there. You're doing great.
thank you.
All right. Now let's have a quick update on the other sports happenings here at Daytona State College. A lot going on out there. This is the first season for the men's and women's cross-country teams here at DSC, and they're picking up steam as a new team. They recently competed in the Disney Cross Country Classic and have a variety of other meets scheduled for this year. The women's soccer team also playing very well this season with 10 wins, 161 shots, 41 goals, 31 assists, 49 corner kicks, and 2 clean sheets. And finally, the Falcons volleyball team has been ruling the court with their 18-5 record, 84 sets, 955 kills, 914 assists, 117 service aces, 1,379 digs, and 138 blocks, all impressive numbers. And the baseball team will be playing October the 20th against Florida State College of Jacksonville. The men's and women's basketball teams just about to tip off with their seasons. The men's competing in the JUCO Jamboree in Apopka on October the 14th, and the women's first game against Gulf Coast State College. That'll be on November the 2nd. Both the men's and women's cross-country teams will be having their next meet on Friday, October the 12th at the FSU Invitational. And another live broadcast game, the women's soccer team will be playing here on October the 13th against Broward College, so be sure to come out or tune in to watch them play. And that's going to do it for us. It's so exciting to have you with us. That's all the time we have. This installment of the Falcon Athletic Network. I want to thank Coach Laura Brown and her two golfers, Holly Muse and Julia Town, and Coach Bart Sasnett and his players, Craigton Charlton and Dakota Casal, one more time for coming in and taking time today. That's going to do it for the Falcon Athletic Network. You have a great night, everybody.